struggle with hands, right? You can draw a whole body and all of that stuff, but hands starts to become a bit of an issue. And other people have like shading issues. Like the construction is all fine, but other things start to become a little messy because the complete idea of where certain shades should come from and how shadows are cast and all that becomes a little bit difficult for us to comprehend. So what we're going to be focusing on today, okay, is just a few things here and there which I feel are going to immediately boost your own knowledge in that. So without continuing my TED talk any longer, let me just turn the camera and we can get started. Just give me 1 second. Just turning the camera in and we'll start off. Guys, like I said before, I'd like everyone's cameras to be turned on, please. I'd really appreciate that. Also, because I'd love to see your artwork by the end of it. Like, would really want to, see how everybody is drawing.
Only 3 cameras on, guys. Please switch on your camera quickly. Utkarsh, Arpita, Priyanka, Vijul, everyone.
All right. So, okay. So while I'm starting to draw, let me just ask one simple question. Are there any beginners here? Any beginners? If you're a beginner, give me a thumbs up in the chat. I'd just like to know if there are any. If not, great. That's also absolutely cool. If you are, then that's also absolutely fine because we'll be going nice and easy. We're going to start off with a hand. Okay? How to draw a hand, basically. Now, hands are can be broken up into separate parts, right? You have your main your palm area. That's this or this, whichever way you want to look at it, right? And then you have your fingers, right? But also among the fingers, there is a particular way things are arranged. Like if I just keep my hand straight like this, I want everybody to look at their own hand, okay, for a second, because the best part about drawing your hand is like you always have a reference. Now, do you see that the knuckles are not straight? They're not aligned absolutely straight like this, right? They're kind of like this and then a little bit like that, right? It's almost like an arc over here. You have it goes from lower, higher, 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 and then here. And that's the same pattern over here with the secondary knuckles. That's here, higher, 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 and then a little bit lower. And then again, but in a much more exaggerated form, right at the tips of the fingers, right? Low, then higher, and then highest, and then a little bit lower, right? That's how it is. And that pattern remains no matter how your how your hand is placed. That same arcing pattern remains. So let's try to draw a hand based on that simple understanding. So basically, to begin with, I will just draw a shape that kind of resembles a cup, kind of like this. Now, don't worry about drawing neatly and all that stuff. Please draw messy if you want, but I want you to draw nice and big, okay? Please don't draw tiny drawings and expect any results to come from that. Nothing will happen. Please draw nice and large. So let's just imagine that this is my palm, okay? Our palm, let's say. Now, here, this is where the thumb will be. Okay. Now this is the back of the hand. Okay, I should mention this is not a frontward hand like this. It's the back of the hand like this. All right. Now, one thing you can immediately do is you can make this shape. This was that arcing shape, right? Where the knuckles go from lower to higher, 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 highest, and then down again. Okay. Another thing to remember is that your the distance between your beginning of your palm, that's here, okay, all the way till the knuckle, right? That much space is more or less the same as from here till the tip of your little finger, okay? It's almost the same space. So we now know that this space here is the same as this space here, okay? So then we can also make another arcing shape like that. The same thing that I did here, I'm doing it again here, right? So now we have this upside down tick for the tips of the fingers and upside down tick for the base of the fingers. So that means that the secondary knuckles, that's these, right? These will be somewhere in the middle here, right? Somewhere in the middle here. So I'm just drawing it lightly, right? And now we have a framework to draw the hands. So let's start off with the knuckles. Okay. So the knuckles will be basically now they'll be kind of like ovals. Okay. So one oval here, one circle here, then another oval here. Make sure you leave a little bit of a gap. Okay. The knuckles are not like absolutely next to each other. One is over here, and one is quite a distance away over here. So there is quite a gap. So remember to leave a decent gap. And the knuckles get larger, right? We know this. The knuckles get larger as it comes to the middle finger and then reduces a little bit in size. Okay? Cool. Now, here, I make another knuckle, the secondary knuckle for the ring finger, secondary knuckle for the middle finger, and then finally the pointer finger. Now let's make the individual finger points, okay? So basically they're just, what are they? They're just pipes, right? So just kind of join them like pipes. Right? Fingers are nothing more than they're just cylindrical pipes. Yeah? Am I making sense? They're just cylindrical pipes. So all you have to do is join those cylindrical pipes to these circles and ovals, which we've already done. Now I know there is a third knuckle also that's there, right? The third and final one. That one you don't have to actually draw because it's a much smaller one, you know. And here, like this. Now remember that the index finger, that's the pointer finger, is more or less the same size as the ring finger. Okay, just remember that. Like that. Okay. Now, if I was to do a continuation of this arc, right? This tick mark like this and bring it here, this is where the thumb's knuckle would be. Okay? And then if I was to do a continuation of this tick mark here, like this, if I just continued this line down, then this is where the tip of the thumb would be. And then you just join it up. That's all it really is. Now, there is one difference, okay? There is one difference, I'll be honest. Over here with the thumb has a sort of different sort of angle here. So you need to kind of give this a little bit of a bend, okay, with the thumb, like that, right? You have to give it that slight extra bend. Okay, now this is looking, it's looking like it's coming along, but it's looking a tiny bit mechanical, right? It's where's all the skin, where's all the you know, flesh and those bits of you know, folds and stuff, right? We haven't done that because this is just the rough version of this. Okay, it's just the rough version. Now over this, I'm going to do the cleaner version. Okay. So over this now, I'm going to draw a little bit darker. I'm going to draw a little bit darker and start making these markings a little cleaner and a little more permanent. Okay. They can also become a little bit thicker, just a tiny bit. Okay. Just remember not to overdo it, especially here at the base. What needs to happen is this line, that is the end of the finger, the base of the finger goes like this and actually becomes into a space between the fingers. There is a space between your fingers, right? So you need to draw that little dash also. Like this, you make the knuckle marking exactly where the end of that circle is, yeah, and then start making the rest of the finger. Remember, make it a little bit broader as you come lower, like this. But don't forget that there is a space between the fingers as well. That's the only way it will look more true to life. Okay. Then we come in like this. And then finally, you see at the end of each finger, I'm making a slight, just a slight bump. Very, very minimal bump right at the end. That is the third knuckle. Okay, that's the third knuckle, but I'm not showing it as an actual circle or, you know, as an actual bump because it's a very, very minute little thing. Now, as we come downwards like this, remember that there's a lot of skin here between your index finger, your pointer finger, and your thumb, right? So you need to show those few little folds, you know, that's got to be there. Otherwise, the fingers will look too tight, basically. Right, put a few folds, small little folds like this near the thumb, and then draw the hand out. That. Okay. Now, this is the point where it's definitely, you know, where it's definitely looking more like a hand, right? But it's not yet detailed. There aren't any inner details, right? That's because all of those construction lines are still there, right? So I'll give you all a minute to get up to this point, Okay, and also I will give everybody a minute to just show me their drawings if they want to. If they've reached this point, you can show me your drawings so that I can take a look whether the proportion and all of that is coming out fine. Anybody who would like to show me their drawings, please show me now. Okay, looking at I believe Arpita's and Divya. Very good, Divya. It's really come out very, very accurately there. Good, good, good. Anyone else? Okay, I'm looking at Kahani's. Where is 1 second? Can you hold it a little lower, please? Little bit lower. I'm not able to see the bottom half of it. Kahani, can you bring it a little lower? Yes, that's great. That's great. Right. Good, good. I saw it. The proportions are absolutely right. Good. Who else? Okay, if it's not anybody else, then the next thing I want you all to start doing is to start erasing all of these construction markings. All of these construction markings, right? They're not necessary. We don't need them now. So start getting rid of all of that. But be careful, okay? When you're removing it, just be a little bit careful not to remove, your hard work. Just take out only what you need. Okay. So you can see that hands tend to sometimes have unequal spaces in between, especially between the ring finger and the two front fingers here, right? They can be a little bit separated, which is a good thing. It's a good thing to show that that slight irregularity, because nothing is so perfect in real life. Now I'm going to start off with the knuckles here. Exactly where those ovals were, right? I'm going to just make slight little bumps like this. Keep them very minimal, okay? Please don't overdo it. I have to remove one line there. Okay. Now, the middle finger one is obviously the largest, right? And if you notice, I'm drawing this not by making round bumps. I'm actually making straight lines that kind of become a little broad in the middle and then become into straight lines again. Same thing here also. You see this? It's just a little bump that becomes straight lines next to each other. Right? They get a little broad, so this little bump, and then back to straight lines. Because that's what they are, right? They are just tendons that are stretching across the whole length of the finger. Okay. Now, once that's done, then here you can start making these little markings. These are, of course, different per person. So maybe just look at your own hand and make little markings, based on what your hand looks like. After all, when you're drawing a hand, no better reference model to use than your own fingers in your own hands. It's basically a self-portrait. Okay, like that. Now, the final thing is basically the fingertips, right? Nails. Now, the nails, you have to be a little careful over there, okay? I'm just going to clean up that area in each. I'm going to clean up that area a little bit so that it's easy to draw nails. Now, you have to be a little careful over there because the nails are going to tell you exactly where, which direction the hands are, the fingers are facing, okay? So you have to be very precise over there. Now, let's go one finger at a time here. Here, this pinky finger is a little bit turned to one side, okay? So I'll draw the nail and then you'll be able to figure out how it is. You see, it's a little bit off center, right? Just a little bit off center. The ring finger is absolutely in the middle. So you can see that it's very equal on both sides. Now, the middle finger just slightly turned to one side and also kind of not too visible because it's a little bit bent over there. And the pointer finger again, absolutely in the middle. Okay. Now this is the important one, the thumb. The thumb you can make out, right? It's kind of angled. It's a little bit angled. So you need to kind of make it almost 50% turning to one side. Turning, I mean, a little bit to the right side. So that way you get that correct angle of the thumb. Okay. Then of course, just make a little bit of marking here, just around near the base of the hand, and just a little bit, very light shading in between the fingers. Remember the places where I said the spaces, right? The spaces between the fingers. There, I want you to just make a little bit of a shade. Just very lightly. Please don't do any of this dark. Shading does not necessarily mean doing things darkly, okay? Just very, very lightly. Maybe it can only be dark right at the center of the space between the two fingers. Maybe there you can make it just a tiny bit darker, but then the rest I want you to just make it light, as light as possible. So that just gives a little more definition to each finger. Right? And the hand just comes down like this. You can also put a little more shade here on this side. Since the tips of these fingers are a little more bent, right? They're a little more curved. So you can put a little more shade over there. Just a little bit more. Don't, again, be very, very minimal with your shading. There's no need to put too much. Okay. Tiny bit here also near the edge of the thumb. Now, you can make all kinds of directional shadows and whatnot, but this is pretty much how I go about making a hand. Now, the issue with hands in particular is that they come in all sorts of shapes, sizes, and moreover, they also move, right, in all sorts of independent mannerisms and ways and all of that. And there are very easy ways of learning that also. This is some of them. This is some of the stuff I teach, all sorts of various different hand positions in the master class, right? Over here, as well as this is hand collage. I love doing hand collages. They're really fun, and it really keeps you constantly practicing different angles and methods of doing handwork. All very learnable, very very easy stuff. Okay, and I will promise to show you how to do all of these hand poses in masterclass itself. Right now, let's move on to a different piece. Okay, let's move on to another piece of work. Let's move on to doing a face. But particularly, I want to move on to doing a side view of a face. Because very often when we're drawing faces, sometimes in the side view, something goes wrong, either at the chin or the nose, right? Anybody here ever have trouble with drawing the face, the human face? Yeah, we got a couple of yeses already. Anyone else? Okay, so let's go ahead and start that. So, human face is actually really quite simple. Okay. Now, what I'm going to be showing you is basically my version of a technique called the Loomis head. Okay, that's Loomis, Loomis head. It's a very simple technique, but and what I like the most about it is that it can really help with a lot of it can really help with a lot of positional and proportional problems, with the face. So, without wasting any more time, I want all of you to draw a circle. Okay. Now, I am going to draw this circle with a red color pencil. If you guys have color pencils with you right now, use a red color pencil. If you don't have it, then that's fine. Just use a normal pencil, but just draw a little bit lightly, okay? Okay, so here's my red color pencil. I'm just going to draw a circle now. Now, the way to draw a circle, trust me, when it comes to drawing, right, very often you'll need to know how to draw a circle. It's just one of those shapes, that really helps with a lot of things. So one way of drawing a circle really easily, okay, is not by using your fingers to move like this, okay? This is not going to help. And moving your wrist is also not going to help, okay? You actually need to move right from your elbow, right from your elbow itself. You need to kind of just keep your hand sort of floating and just kind of make a few bad circles until the one good circle shows up, that's my method, at least. Do a few bad ones and the good one will eventually show. Okay, so there's my circle. Not great, but it'll do. Okay. Now, the sides of the face are sort of flattened, okay? We have a round face, okay? All of us have rounded faces, but the sides are kind of chipped like this. So I'm going to make one straight line here and one straight line here. Both have to be of equal, height. All right. Now, those of you who know the Loomis method might be thinking like, okay, there's actually a circle here and here, but we'll get into that in some other session, not in this one. In this one, just make a line here and a line here. Like I said, this is my version of the Loomis face. So now we're going to divide the face into 3-4 sections. Okay. So this line I'll join to this line over here in a curved space like this. Okay, just curved. Then somewhere at the halfway point, I'll do it again. Okay, there. Then again at the end here, I'll make another space like this. Do you see how each of these gaps are the same space? It's the same amount of space, right? Same gap. So just keep that in mind. And then we need one more. We need one more space. So I want to make the same gap one more time. So I'll make it somewhere here. Okay. Now, this is the hairline. This is the eye line. This is the nose line. This is the chin line. Okay. Now we need the cheekbone line also. Very, very few times do we actually draw the cheekbone line, but that's such an important part of the face. We shouldn't miss out that. So from this corner here, I'm just going to slide a curvy line down like this. It's just a line that kind of curves and joins the chin like that. And the same thing on the other side. Like this. Okay. Now this is not the jawline, definitely not. The jawline actually now comes from here like this and goes up till roughly the nose line. That's this point, roughly there, and then joins there. Same thing here, goes from here like this, roughly to about where the nose point is, and then just joins up. Cool. And one last thing, just one straight line to cut across the middle of the face, like that. Okay. Now, the only thing I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to make this being the center of the face, right? I'll make a little gap here and a little gap here. So this will be basically where the eyes start. Okay. That's how that works. So this is where the eyes start. Also, the eyebrows will start somewhere above this, and the eyebrows will end here. So we're all more or less done with the head shape and all that. Now the only thing left to do is the nose, which is just one clown nose like this. Is one round circle like that, and two small ovals like that. Okay. And we can get started with the face construction now. You might be wondering, like, why so many lines and procedures and all of that stuff, right? That's because this method allows you to draw on top of this construction, these construction lines without any mistakes happen. Mistakes just don't happen, when you do it on this kind of a grid board. Okay. So let's start off now. I've switched to my normal pencil now. Okay. So if you were also using a color pencil, you can now switch to a normal pencil. And so first I'll just start off with the eyebrow. The eyebrow is obviously above the eye line, right? Above the eye line. So we start off here. Like this, we go around like this, and it ends here at this side red line here. Okay. Like that. And then you can come backwards like this and make the rest of the eyebrow. I'll do the same thing this side. Don't let this eyebrow come towards this middle line. Okay. it has to end near this marking right here. That's why we made that marking, so that we know where to stop the eyebrow. So the thing is, even though this method might be a few extra steps and stuff, but it stops you from making random mistakes. And if there's one thing that really slows down learning, it's random mistakes. Okay, now the eye. Remember, the eye has to be smaller than the eyebrows. Okay, it cannot be larger than the eyebrows. So it has to be smaller. So it has to be inside this line here, inside within this red line marking here. We first do the upper eyelid and then we do the lower eyelid like that. Okay, and the same thing on the other side, like this. First the upper and then the lower. And remember one thing, when it comes to eyes, right, the upper eyelid always overlaps the lower eyelid. You see this? You see how I've drawn the upper eyelid overlapping the lower eyelid, right? Then first you make the eyeball and the iris of the eye, like that. Okay, and we'll come back to that to do the to do the details in a bit. Right now, the nose, you can already see how just two circles and one big oval kind of already makes the nose for you, right? You just need to kind of make a little mark here, a little curve here, like this. Those are the two nostrils, right? Then from the edge of the circle, you make one curve there, make another curve there, and draw a line upwards like that. You can do the same thing on the other side, just a little bit, like that. Yeah, and just like that, you have the nose already set up. The mouth, all you have to do is just leave a little space, tiny bit of space, and do a V shape, like this, a V shape, like a wide sort of V, and then just make a line coming down on both sides, like this. Under this V shape, I'll just make a straight line from one side to the other, but with a small little V shape in the middle again. Okay, and this is important. Okay, this part is important. The sides of the mouth, just make one little small line there and one little small line over there. That's those smile lines. They're very important for the lip. And also keep in mind, the lower lip should not touch the upper lip in any way. Just make a little curve here. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. Now we have the eyes, nose, mouth all in one place. So now we can just draw in the face. And the beautiful part about this whole thing is that everything in this Loomis face construction is completely telling you exactly where to put everything. The jawline has to be right here. The chin line can be right here like this, right? Then the jawline can go up exactly over here, following these exact grid markings. The cheekbone line can be right here, here, and here. I'll just fill in the eyebrows now. Right side eyebrows have hairs that are facing the right direction. Left side eyebrow has hair facing left side direction. Easy to remember. Okay. Like this. Then the ears have to be at the same level as the eyes, okay? Same level as the eyes. Like this. It's very simplistic shape like that. This side also, same thing. don't draw ears that are sticking out, you know, like monkey ears. Okay, they shouldn't. They should be very kind of pulled inwards, like this. Okay. Then near the eyes, you can give a few details like a few markings just for the eyelids, right? Then, of course, the cheek lines just above the nostrils there. And here's a simple hairstyle. Okay, I'll teach you a simple but really effective hairstyle. You just need to make like a V shape over here, and above each eyebrow, the side of each eyebrow, just make a kind of shape like this and a shape like this. Okay, so now we have the forehead, and then all you have to do is from here just make a kind of S shape. See, just a S shape like that. And then here's the fun part. You just keep making the S shape again and again and again and again until you come to the side. This is just one out of many, many really simple and fun hairstyles I can teach you how to do. And on the other side, just do a reverse C shape, you know, just a curve, that's all. Just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like this. Don't go broader than the shape of the head itself. Keep it to that much. Just back and forth, the same shape. There's really nothing more to do than that much. Okay, so I'll repeat that one more time. It's a S shape at first, like that. And then after that, you just keep on making that S shape back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You really can't go wrong with this. Okay, both this side and the other side, you make the curvy shape that just comes down to the side of the face. Okay, and then the neck comes down here, like that. Now, okay, so now this is just one face, right? Now, there are details and very, very particular ways of making different types of eyes, different types of noses, and lips and features and all. Let me just give you a couple of examples. Like here, right? Teach all that. And also how to draw faces in different angles also. Okay? And a lot of different methods of lighting and shading. But before I get into any of that, I want to just hand it over to Ria for a bit. Because I want her to tell you all about my masterclass, which I'm working on, where you learn a huge number of different ways of professional sketching.
Yeah, definitely. But before that, anybody wants to show if anybody has tried the face sketching? Divya, Ishita, Preeti.
Yes, please show me. Anyone who's done it, please do show me the face.
Okay, Kahani is showing.
Kahani, fantastic. Nice.
Diksha.
Really good. Diksha, nice. Please draw it larger next time. I can make out your drawing a little bit on the smaller side, but good job. It's come out well still. Divya, nice. Good job there. The nose can be a little bit wider. Okay. So these are the small little things which I can really help out with, you know. Then Ragir and Divya, very nice. Very nice. Who else? It's come out very well, guys.
All right. So as you know, you need to know the techniques to get mastered in the sketching. So you need to know the techniques, and we only showed you the face and the hand sketching, how to do it, and there are like many more skills you can get an advanced technique also. So that's why BitClass has brought a master class for you, because it was not possible in 1 hour session to show everything, right? So here are the details of the master class. I hope my screen is visible. So it's starting
Yes.
from 30th April to 15th May, Saturday and Sunday from 4:30 p.m. and 6 p.m. You all can note down the timing also. So it's a 9-hour live teaching session with mentorship. So guys, what is this mentorship? Mentorship means a sir will be there to assist you. Or all right, so you get the techniques, the proper details, and this is a certification course. Yes, the 30th April to 15th May, this master class is a certification course from BitClass, which is the best app of 2021. So you get a certification from us with sir's mentorship. You get live recordings. You get recordings of all the session in case suppose you're not able to join one session one day because of health issue, but not to worry, we will be sending all the recordings of all the live sessions. So there will be live classes, and also you will be added to a lifetime community chat box. So what is this? You will be added to a group, so where said and sir and all his students will be there, and you can ask your doubts, and that is not limited to the master class. You will be having the access even after